I don't know what you heard about me, but Miles can't get $1 out of me. Nope, he can get 50. 50,000.
What is up, Defects? Live on a Monday night. Good to be back. Good to be hanging with my boys. We got a family member in the house tonight, filling in. Erod 212. What is up, my brother? How you been?
What's going on, brothers? Everything is good, man. Keep getting busy, keeping busy, getting ready for TERRIFICON.
That's it. That's the next thing on the radar, right?
Oh man, yeah, and you know what? Like, it's my first big show, so
yes, it is.
A little nerve wracking, just getting ready for it. I'll be fine, but it'll be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. And we'll talk about the other announcement that you had on your channel recently. We'll be talking about that later on in the show as well. Guy Forge looking fresh with that vintage hat on. One of one, baby.
This is an OG, man. This is the original Tony's. What up? What up, Defects? Yeah, very excited. We got a lot to talk about tonight. I mean, this is a crazy thing, man. Miles pulling 50 G's. So, I mean, that ain't chump change.
That's it. Butcher in the house, in the chat, holding it down. I see some familiar faces in the chat. Big shout out to John Ross, Big Daddy, coming down, hanging out at my house the other day. He's working on a project for me, so it was good of him to shoot down and do what he had to do over here. Drove a long way to get here and do what he had to do. So I had to bless him with some nice New York. Depends where you're from. A hero, a wedge, a sub. A wedge. Had to bless him with the real stuff. You know what I mean? So
isn't it funny? Isn't it funny that someone comes over and the way we say thank you is food?
Of course.
Is that not our cultures?
Dude, Spanish and Italian guys are just the same shit, man. We'll feed you to death.
There's no other way. There's no other way that would have went down. I wish I was available just to stop over.
And it wasn't a little plate. He had to eat.
No way.
It was like the wedges were like this big. I mean, they were the heroes, the subs, the hoagie, wherever you want to call it. Everybody calls it something different. So yeah, man, we have a good show tonight. Oh, Grinder, that's another one. Yeah, there's 4 or 5 different names for those things. All right. And some of them are very, very regional. Like we say wedge, and that is like really only in our area. Like no one outside of like a 20 or 30 mile radius of us knows what that is. You say wedge, and they look at you like you got 10 heads.
Because you're not really New York if you fucking say wedge. It's a
listen, that's Westchester. That's Westchester. I don't know where it came from.
What do you call it? What do you call it?
We call it a hero or a sub,
yeah.
bro.
Oh,
I might even give it a fucking hoagie, but I really don't like hoagie too much, bro.
Come on.
So yeah, we have a big show. We have a lot of data. Matty Forge went on the hunt, tracked down some data, comic book market watch. It's going to be a good show. We got a little cashier trashing at the end. A couple little pieces of news. Expensive paper in the house, always representing.
Expensive paper coming through at that $49.99. He said, just showing love to the Defects, and what up, Erod? Expensive paper always in here, so thank you. We appreciate you.
He said Erod calls it a torta. Expensive paper always dropping some heat on his IG. You guys want to give him a follow. He's been picking up some big books. He's picked up a couple big books from me too. So, all right. So as you could see, we're gonna, you know what? How can we get right into it? Because we have one of the sponsors in the house. So Guy Forge, don't mess it up.
Look at this Express Comic Book Pressing Service. The man, the myth, the legend, Erod 212. You can reach him at expresscbp@yahoo.com or just hit him up on Instagram at Erod 212. You know he cleans, he presses, he kills it. As Jay says, he is the presser's presser. He will submit to CGC and CBCS for you. And obviously, use that Defects 10 code to get you 10% off. All right? That's all. And he's sitting with us.
And I said we'll do it later, but we might as well do it now. I know you have now a new way of dropping off books. So you want to give them a quick recap of what you have going on, when that's starting, and all the info on
that. Coming up in July. You know what it was, Matt? Like at the shows, and I take drop-offs at shows, but I don't do too many shows. And I know a lot of people don't want to put their books in the mail, and I understand that. So came up with a plan with one of the local shops in New Jersey who I frequent and I trust completely. And that's Main Street Comics in Milltown, New Jersey. And we're going to come up with a drop-off location for you to go there and drop off your books. I'll probably be going there once or twice a week and picking up the orders. And we'll process it there. There'll be a form for you to fill out there. And then they'll secure your books, save them, hold them in the location until I go and pick them up. We're also planning to have a day there where I'm going to be at the shop because he's doing a grand opening of his new store. It's going to be massive. You have to see this man's inventory. It's insane. The only guy that rivals him is Zap Comics.
Okay.
This guy is legit. Most guys in the community know him. So it's Mike from Main Street. But I'll be there. Probably we're going to set up a day where I'll sit there and I'll go through your books and let you guys know, if it's worth grading or not. Because that's a big question. And Matt, we all talk about price points and everything else.
Yeah.
So, Robert, right now I'm about 12 to 14 weeks on the backlog.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, listen, when you're good, everybody wants to send your books, and he's one-man show right now. Maybe he needs to get some help. Maybe he needs an employee, you know what I mean?
I'm laughing at the Butcher's fucking comment.
Oh, yeah.
I put it up before. I don't know if you saw it.
He's going to be in there all night. He's got nothing but time tonight.
Yeah, exactly. He's on a fake shift.
He's got nothing but time tonight. Well, look at Future Specs in the house tonight. What up, Future Specs?
What up?
All right. Guys, you saw it on the thumbnail. We're going to lead off with it. I want to talk about sales of UF4. Okay, Ultimate Fallout 4, first appearance Miles Morales, and specifically, we're going to get to that Newsstand 9.8, which is just an absolute ghost. Okay, before I start dropping stats on that, we'll do a little deep dive and get some data and lead up to it. All right, boys. Anytime you want to jump in, cut me off. Anytime a good comment comes in, drop it in. We'll stop. We'll address it. So about 4 or 5 days ago, I dropped this in our chat. Elite Comics 11, Ollie and the boys over there, friend of the channel, they posted an Ultimate Fallout 4 Newsstand 9.8. Okay. They put it up for $49,950, as you can see right there. Elite Comics 11 on IG. If you're not following them, make sure you give them a follow. When we first all saw this, we said, this is insane. This is a crazy price. Where is it coming from? Okay. Now, I've sold, I think everybody here knows Elite 11, Ollie. They don't just throw up any price. They ask you about what you want, and then they do their own little bit of research. And if they think you're close, they say sure. And if they think you're off, they say no way. We gotta work on that. So I said to myself, I have to do some digging to find out if this price is realistic or not. And again, I trust those guys. I've sold with them before. I've bought from them before. I've had conversations with them, so I know them a little bit better than the average Joe. And so I trust them. So when I saw that price, it really stood out to me, and I needed to figure out why. Okay, so I mean, Erod guy, when you first saw that, when I threw it in the chat, like, what were you thinking initially when you saw that price?
The fuck out of here.
I think I was the only one that wasn't shocked, though.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you weren't too shocked. Yes.
Because of the scarcity of that book.
Right. Now, there's two different questions here, right? And I think a lot of people will say, like, I wouldn't, regardless of whether it's worth that, would you pay for it, right? Would you put out that amount of money to buy that book? Most people's answer is going to be no. But I mean, I guess it depends on what you're looking to do. So that everybody has to answer that question for themselves. So whether you'd spend the money on that book or not, that's not really what this show is about. It's about more, is the book worth that, and some of the stats on the book. All right. So we all know that obviously the Spider-Verse movie just came out. We know that You know, the UF4 cover A, the Bagley, went up to about 2400. I think was the peak since the movie's been out, and it's slowly come back down a little bit. Did not reach its $3,800 high, I think, which was during 2021. Did not get back to that, and I don't think that's a surprise. I think we all saw the bubble in the market, and we know what that's about. But obviously, the big book that always gets talked about is that Jurjevic, right? That 1 in 25. Okay, so the last sale for this happened to be 4 days ago on Heritage Auction, which, you know, I think the prices on there, I don't want to say they're a little skewed, but obviously there's a lot more fees associated with Heritage Auction, I think, than, you know, IG or eBay or whatnot, because you're paying a buyer's fee, you're paying a seller's fee, you pay a ton of tax, you pay a lot for shipping. So that 27.6, it comes out to be a lot more than that, right? But nonetheless, I think the peak of this book, I think I have it written down here, was 42,500. Oh, I'm sorry, 43,200, and that was in January of this year. So that book got cut by about 35 to 40% since January. Okay, and Erod, correct me if I'm wrong, but that had multiple sales above 30,000.
They had 3 consecutive sales of 40,000 or plus.
Just right between 35 and 43.
40,000, yeah. They were just right. They kept it was back to back, because I remember when the first $40,000 sale went, and everybody thought it was a fluke, and then not long after you had another one for I think it was the $43,000 one.
Wasn't there one on Whatnot?
That was in the 30s too, I believe, right?
In the 30s?
28.
That was pre to 40,000.
Yes, that was before. That was like the first. I think that was the highest sale to that day, to date. I think that was the highest sale on Whatnot. I guess that was in 2021, early 2021, or I don't know when that was. It's good.
It was 2022. It was 2022.
It was 2022. Okay. All right. So that just happened. So we see that this book. I mean, it's not because of Miles. It's because the market, it just couldn't sustain, right? Nobody's paying these prices, right? A couple people did during the bubble. The bubble popped, you know, and it didn't come all the way back down, because we're still in most cases, we're 20 to 30% higher than we were in 2020. So that's still a nice jump over 3 years, you know, 10% a year. I'll take that all the time, you know?
It was the greed, though. Everybody got caught up in the hype. But you know what we lost, Matt? You and I both, we've all discussed it. The stock market guys who couldn't play the stock market anymore and jumped into the card hot game and the comic game and all of that, they're gone. They're back at the market.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Jay had a good point. The PS5 game, when it came out too, that sparked that craziness.
That was definitely the catalyst, and that actually might have been the catalyst for the entire market movement, to be honest with you.
Do you think that was it? Do you also remember that Miles becomes really big during Black Lives Matter?
Yes, I think it all played into it. I think it was a perfect storm.
It was like it was like that perfect storm, Matt, where that happened and the game came out, and then people realized the scarcity of this book, and
the combination of everything together,
Yeah.
But what people don't know is that book right there, The Ultimate Fallout 4, was actually in 5 Below, in 4 packs at 5 Below at one time.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're going to talk about that. So,
not my 5 Below.
Everybody, we were looking all over.
I'll tell you.
I checked New York, New Jersey. I went as far as Pennsylvania. I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Dude, I went to the 5 Below, and I'm like arguing with the guy, and I'm like, dude, you got like boxes of comics in the back. I guarantee it. He's like, we don't carry comics. I'm like, 5 Below has comics. I go, they do. And he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I'm out of here. I got so upset. Like,
all right. So, guys, this isn't your basic, talk on Miles and whether it's worth this. There's a lot more to this. We just want to peel the layer back, the onion back one layer at a time. So bear with us. A side note, I think a big piece of news, but also kind of a side note to what we're talking about, is the next slide that I'm going to show you. And it's something Erod mentioned right before the show started to make sure it was in here, is that the 9.8 CBCS sale on the same day as the 9.8 CGC sale. And look at that drop off from 27
But
what was it, 27.2 or 27.6 down to 18,000.
Okay.
If you think that CGC doesn't matter,
thank you.
You're bugging.
So this is where we get to the conversation of this, that everyone goes back to the same thing, and I mean everyone who says that it doesn't make a difference, clearly it does.
This actually might have been my book. I have to check the number looks very similar. Remember, Erod, I had this. Yeah. This might be mine. I sold it in the late 2020. I still got for a CBCS book. I actually got a really good price from it. Dollar per dollar, it was the highest sale. Yep. If you factor in the CGC&CBCS difference, it was actually higher than the highest sale in 2020 for CGC. So I really got a good price for mine. Everyone's like, you're crazy for selling it when you did. Number one, nobody could see what was happening. Number two, if I never sold that, I would never have the FF1. And then so you really have to look at it. If you want the money on the table, or do you want a piece of history that now I wouldn't be able to afford the FF1. So,
yeah.
But I just thought this was interesting. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but any thoughts, Erod guy, you want to jump in?
You know what? We've always talked about the market and the CBCS versus CGC. This book here clearly showed on like a major book, at least. We might be 5% on smaller books.
Right.
But on a major book, it definitely dictated.
That's a big drop. That's the biggest drop I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, on the same day, so it's not even, you could say like the market caused it. Same day, same auction house. I think I had the percentage drop. It's like 35%. I mean, it's an enormous drop. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's... So
I got to tell you, I was going to say to you, wouldn't it be interesting to buy that 9.8, crack it out, take the chance? You've got the income.
I almost did, and then I didn't want to. I didn't want to take a chance because at the time the drop to 9.6 was much lower than what the 9.8 CBCS was selling for.
Well, so, now the buy might be worth it. You got it.
Now it might be.
Well, I was saying like buying this one with the CBCS one.
Correct.
Like if somebody puts the money into it and it sells, the CBCS sold for 18,000, right? Yeah, and you crack it out and submit it, and then you get a 9.8 on the CGC.
Well, I can tell you right now, so we'll get to this later, but a 9.6 to Jervik CGC just sold recently for 7,200. So that's a big drop even from the CBCS.
Yeah, because that was 11 grand, right?
What's that?
It used to be 11 grand. The Jervik,
it was at about 11. It went to 7. Yeah. So
I don't want to tie up your time, but you know my story with this book, right? I won this book.
Yes.
On a Google raffle for $25.
Wow.
Like 2016, and this is pre-pressing, so maybe like 2014. I send it into CGC, had them press it. It came back at 9.2. It sat in a box in my house for like 2 years, and then when I really got better at pressing, I was looking at it and I felt I could do better.
Yep.
And credit to Biggie's because he convinced me to crack it.
Okay.
And it came back at 9.6.
Nice.
That's a big jump. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big jump. But
that's
a big $25 investment on that book.
So, and you know what's good about CBCS is that a lot of times they are the tougher grader. But when it comes to 9.8, it's splitting hairs, right? It really comes down to the grader's eye sometimes. So
it's subjective.
Yeah.
BLC, what's up, brother?
Yeah, good. A lot of big faces in here tonight. We got Coco, we got A Supreme, we got the Sands group in the house. Appreciate you, brother. We got BLC in the house. Yeah, we got the fellas here tonight. I like
Everybody's showing up. This is nice.
So this is where it's gonna get good. All right. So this is where the digging starts. So let's head back over to this.
And just a second, by the way, E.
Go ahead.
Like, isn't it fun when Matt starts to dig?
Oh, well,
is there anything more enjoyable?
You know how he is, though. You know,
but he gets. This is where look at his face because he gets that little smirk. He gets that smirk. Like, check out what I did. Like, you know, when you have hold on. When you have like a puppy that comes up and he's like, I did it. Look what I did. Like, he's very happy. Right? Look at his face.
If I had a law firm, he would be my fact finder because that fucking guy's relentless, man.
That's it.
He just doesn't stop.
Go ahead, Matt.
The Butcher made a good point. Expensive Paper dropped a super chat, and we forgot. I was so excited to drop my data that I forgot to drop Eva. So let's give him a little Eva, all right?
Good.
Make it rain on me, Defects. Yeah. I can feel it. More.
There you go. Just for you, Expensive Paper. And we'll show a little bit of more Eva later when we have a little break.
Before we go, Sans Groups puts an interesting thing there. He goes, man, I don't know if you, guys,
I got you.
He goes, yo, the 600 people are hating on it. I would get the Shamik Moore. Shamik Moore is not that expensive, and if you love the Miles character, his voice is Miles.
That is Miles, right? Yeah.
But if you think about it, all right. So like the way I always equate it, right? When you watch the X-Men animated series, right? If you're ever thinking about Wolverine, that's the voice you hear in your head, or Xavier. That's what this is going to be for a generation of younger kids.
Well, that's the same thing with Optimus Prime, no?
Right, same thing, exactly. Perfect.
That's huge.
But I think it makes if you got Robert Downey Jr.'s signature on the first appearance of Iron Man, that wouldn't make as much sense as it does here.
Right, exactly.
Right, because it's a modern book, a modern movie, modern, younger generation. It just all fits together.
And
right?
when he becomes big is when the cartoon comes out, so that's where he's associated with, because that's where he really. Miles was around for almost 15 years now, 14 years, but that character really doesn't become huge until that movie drops.
Sure.
Yeah,
where he becomes a household name. Because everywhere you go, when they know about comic books or somebody talks about comic books, first thing they say, "Oh, my kid loved the Miles Morales movie."
Yeah.
Yep.
Because nobody even calls it. It's the Miles Morales movie.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, right? I mean, when you say it, that's what you say. So, all right. Yeah, I saw that guy on your Instagram. All right. So the Newsstand. What's the deal with the Newsstand? So I wanted to do a quick. So I wanted to get print runs because there's actually a really good article from Comic-Con on the print run. I don't know if you ever read that one. I linked it in the description. So I'm going to show a picture from it. But if you guys really want to read it in depth, it's really good because everyone thinks the print run on UF4, everyone uses the number 74,000. That's where you see everywhere, right? You see that on websites. You see it on Key Collector. You see it on Instagram posts. They say 74,000. So when they try to do what's the difference of the 1 in 25, how many 1 in 25s are out there, they try to come up with the number that way. So we wanted to see how rare the Newsstand was. And we were talking before the show. And 2011, which is when this book came out, was just about the end of newsstands. It ended late 2011 or early 2012 where they stopped newsstands. And at this point, they were only selling them at Barnes & Nobles and Books A Million. Correct, E?
Yep.
Okay. And it made up anywhere between 1% and 3% of the print run. Okay? Those two shops. All right? So now remember, Books A Million and Barnes & Nobles were not comic shops. Right? So when they put these things out, they were just throwing them in there. They were throwing them on the rack. A lot of them were getting damaged. A lot of them were getting lost. I know we heard stories of Barnes & Nobles finding 50 copies of this thing, a couple of years ago. They found 50 newsstand copies of it a few years ago. So this was not. So while it was 1% to 3% of the print run, the chances of getting anything over a 9.2 were just absolutely decimated by how these books were treated on the shelves. I remember people telling me stories of having them bent in half, 4 or 5 spine ticks in every one that was on the rack. I mean, it's not a comic shop, so they're not handling them as comics.
If you've ever seen the shelves,
finger banged to death, though, bro.
I didn't hear it. Go ahead, E.
I said those things got finger banged to death. I mean, if you ever go, they get crushed.
Yep. Guy, what were you saying?
If you've ever seen the shelves in Barnes & Noble, I mean, they're just it's a magazine rack. That's all it is.
Right.
The magazines are thrown like crazy over there. So if you expect to get a comic book out of there with nothing wrong with it, you're out of your mind. Yep, absolutely. So print runs, there's no way to know for sure. But what happened was, what the hell was that? Jesus Christ! So you all right?
We are
this book,
experiencing technical difficulties.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. The first print and the second print were actually printed on the same day. They printed them at the same time and then shipped them later. However, the first print was shipped in multiple months as well. Okay, so it got very confusing to try to figure out the numbers. And they actually shipped first prints all the way up until, I think, January or February of 2012 in promotional capacities. Erod and Guy were talking about Jurjevic copies in the Five Below packs. We had talked about that on this show a couple years ago. The Bagley was going in promotional. There was an 80-cent promotion at some point where they were selling the comic. If you bought like another comic, you would get the UF4 Bagley first print for 80 cents. So this wasn't your basic first print run in 1 month, second print run in 2 months later. It was not that. So the 74,000 number was actually that first 2 months, but the real number is 91,600. And that's a rough estimate, but Comic-Con really breaks it down well. So if you want to read the entire article, it's linked below. The Jurjevic is at 1,400 copies, which is actually scarcer than I thought. The Bagley second print and the variant second print both at 28.5. Okay, so 91,000. So if we take 2% of 91,000, let's see, 91.6 times 0.02, we'll go right in the middle. That leaves us about 1,832 copies, which by number looks like more than the Jurjevic. However, there's no chance in hell that they even came close to that 1,800 at Barnes & Noble's because they lost so much to damage, garbage, like not getting put on the shelves, just getting through. You hear all these stories. It was nowhere near 1,800. They estimated around 1,200 that actually made it to the shelves, and forget about what made it to actually make it to a 9.8. Okay, not even close, or not even a 9.8, but even high grade. Okay, some census numbers. Cover A 9.8s, 4,386. That includes signature series. That's a lot of 9.8s. Yeah. Okay, that's a ton of 9.8s. Jurjevic. This is a good number of. This is not a bad number of 9.8s. 203 total with signatures. 180 plus 22 signatures. 200 9.8s. That's a scarce number. That's why the Jurjevic demands so much more money than the Cover A, because the number of 9.8s is so, it's not even close to a 1 in 25. It's more like a 1 in 65 or 1 in 75. Okay, as far as the ratio goes. Now, as far as I can see, there is only 3 known 9.8 newsstands. One sold in 2020. I think it was for like 9,000. This one is for sale right now. And then there is supposedly one hanging around out there that somebody got graded and it's never been for sale. Okay? There's no numbers on the census for them. They don't keep track of newsstands in this particular situation. So you're talking about, let's just say maximum maybe of 8 to 10 copies of this. And it's not like you're going to find 100 more. There's going to be 10 to 15 for the rest of life, right? That thing's not, you're not going to find more than 15 9.8s in newsstand, and it's probably not even that high. So how do we do the math here? All right, so I said, let me figure out what a 9.6 sold for. So thankfully, in May of this year, a newsstand 9.8 sold for 11.1 thousand. Okay?
9.8?
No, I'm sorry, 9.6. Now, we just said that the Jurjevic 9.6 sold for 7.2 in a 9.6, and a 9.8 sold for 27.6. So if you take the multiplier, it's 3.83 is the multiplier for 9.6 to 9.8. Okay, so if you apply the same multiplier to the newsstand, which I think is actually unfair because of how scarce the 9.8 is compared to the 9.6, but we'll just use that multiplier, 3.83 times 11,100. It brings you up to 42,513. So if you use the same difference between the 9.6, 9.8 Jurjevic as the newsstand, you come up with 42,000 and change for the newsstand 9.8, which again, I think is actually a low multiplier because of how much more scarce 9.6 to 9.8 is in the newsstand, with only 3 known copies existing. So
the other thing,
go ahead.
No, just a point, right? You have 200 plus 9.8 on the Djurjevic, right?
203. Yep.
All right, and you have what do we have on the newsstand? Three possibly, right?
3 known, 2 for sure are known. There's a possible third that people in the community are saying
how
exists.
often is this book even going to come up in the market?
The last sale was 2020. The last sale was 2020. 3 years.
That book is going to it is so scarce you're not going to see it. It's going to be hoarded by big time collectors and stay in collections.
Now, it's funny. So Newmark says, did it just increase? This was actually there this morning. I went and I looked to see if it was on eBay as well. It actually is. He has it up for $59.9 on eBay. They actually just took it down off of Instagram, so I'm not sure. It had like 300 comments. Maybe, I know the comments were getting very hostile, so they may have taken it down for a time to see. I don't know. We'll see if it goes back up, but it is still on eBay for even more. And like I said, I think based on everything we just said and the multiplier based on the Djurjevic, which I think is even a low multiplier, you're at a minimum of 42,000, probably closer to that 49, 50,000. So putting it up for 49,000 or even 59,000 is really not that unrealistic. I think the 59,000 is a little unrealistic, but I think 50,000 is a legitimate number for this book based on current values of all the other books surrounding this character and scarcity. Now, I said we wouldn't be talking about whether you'd spend that money on this book or not, but as of right now, as of today, that number seems justified based on the metrics. Now, 6 months from now, the Djurjevic 9.8 could be 18,000 and the 9.6 could be 5,000. Now all of a sudden you're talking about a different multiplier. So now maybe that newsstand, instead of it being 49,000, maybe it's 39,000.
But you got to think that 59,000, Matt. They're factoring in for the eBay fees that they charge them a lot more because it's like 13% and paying taxes on it and everything else. So
it's an incredible nut. I mean, you're getting bapped over the head big time. So I think honestly, I mean, look, when I first started writing stuff down on a piece of paper, I just said to myself, "There's no way this is going to add up. It's going to be out of whack." And when I finished, I was just like, "This is actually really close to what I mean, the number he came up with, it was actually close. I mean,
your calculations aren't, I mean, they're justified. So it's not far off.
Ali and those guys, because they came up with the right number.
They came up with the right number. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, if you base it on hard data, it's not a bad number. And like I said, I think the multiplier that I used was even low because of, you're talking 3 versus 203.
Yeah,
it's
I think
crazy.
You're trying to be realistic on it too.
Right.
That's all.
So you want to split the difference and say 45,000? I'm sure if somebody offered him 45,000, he'd probably take it. And honestly, based on today's data, not next week's, not 3 months from now, but today, the market today, because that's what all we could base it on. That's the price of the book.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, it's going to be, what does somebody pay for it? Because it's the only one for sale. So if somebody buys it for 75,000, then guess what? Then a newsstand 9.8 is worth 75,000. And if somebody buys it for 35,000, then it's worth 35,000. All these numbers on this piece of paper go out the window because there's only one for sale.
Did you just hit one of the cats with that?
No, I just missed.
Oh, Dave Cerrone dropping that baloney. He said, Matt just said incredible nut. Was he thinking about Eva?
I mean, listen, I can't do that. I can't say that out loud. No. All right, I just did a diarrhea drop of the just straight out the brain. So if you guys want to jump in, tell me your thoughts, and we'll move on after you guys are done.
You see, the butcher says AF-15, right? But even the AF-15, it's the book to get, right? But even that book took a decrease. You know?
Of course, they all do. Nothing was.
Right. It is what it is. It's not that the market died. It corrected itself. And if you invested properly and bought low, it's like everything else. Buy low, sell high.
Yep.
I believe in this newsstand, though. I don't think that thing is going to, because of its scarcity,
That's what I'm saying, man. Could you
and
imagine
Miles
if they
has
tried to
another-
sell this last year? What would the price be if they sold this last year when
Oh
the
my
Jervik
God,
was
Jordan,
going for 40?
yeah, he probably could have got 60. But you know what? Both Miles movies have done extremely well. They're well received. Everybody loves them, right? There's a third one coming out in 2024, and there's rumors about a live action. I don't think this book is anywhere near finished. It still has a lot of legs.
Which is very surprising.
Well, any one of them. Just talking about Miles Morales in general. Because remember this. If the Jervik sells for, let's say it goes to 40 again, that drives the price of the newsstand. Because now that makes the newsstand go up.
It'll move each one. Absolutely. It's like a domino
exactly.
effect.
It moves the needle every time.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if this book sells. I'm really going to keep an eye on it. I think anything lower than 40, depending, if there's more Jervik 9.8, 9.6s, if there's more newsstand 9.6 sales, if those start going down and then it goes for less than 40, I think then it's justifiable. I think anything less than 40 right now on this book is a I don't want to say a steal, but it's a deal. And again, what I spent, I see people in the chat, I'd rather have an AF-15. Of course, this is probably the last book I would ever spend that amount of money on. That's worth this. This is literally the bottom of the list at which I would say, somebody just dropped $40,000 on my lap and said, you have to spend $40,000 on a comic book, one, and it has to be today. This would literally be at the bottom of my list. Any other $40,000 book, that's what I'm going to go after. That's me. But I just wanted to focus on whether the price was justifiable. And right now it looks like it is. Whether that changes or not, that's a different story. I'm sure it will, but we can only go off of today. What do you got, Guy?
I mean, Kamikaze, our friend from up north, said, you know what? I mean, he might have a little more pull than Dave Cerrone. He said, let's see some EVA.
Hey, Defects, guess who's back for some more super chats? Yeah, baby. Let's go, Defects.
I mean, you talk about Miles all you want. I could talk about that all day.
That's it. All right, we got a couple other topics. We're going to take a quick break here, talk a little bit about Whatnot. Tomorrow night, 9:45, after EROD 212 starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, right, E?
Yes, sir.
Gary going at 8:30 Eastern, and then Guy Forge holding it down for the Defects, 9:45, running into when Davis Rider starts on Attack on Tuesday. Follow us, guys. We've been doing some cool stuff. We got a lot of nice books going, and we have a huge secret drop coming out at TERRIFICON. Live drop at TERRIFICON with Fairy Gary. You're not going to want to miss this. This isn't a bullshit book. This is super limited, super high profile character, less than 100 copies. Guys, we wouldn't. This is our actual first drop. The Vampirella, that was a fun thing. It was a Kickstarter. This is our actual first drop, our own book. And trust me, you know we're not going to disappoint you guys. So that is the show you want to bookmark, the TERRIFICON show with Ryan Brown, the secret drop. But head over, follow us, give the show tomorrow night a bookmark.
And just to let you know, if you're going to be at TERRIFICON, I mean, just come by the show.
Yeah,
I mean,
try to stake one on the side,
Yeah, try and find us. Come to the show. We're gonna be doing it with Gary. This is so exciting, and I'm baffled. How far we've come with this, and like the people you get to meet, and this is what it's all about, guys. So this is gonna be a lot of fun.
I mean, he's one of the only people. He's one of the only people outside the group that actually knows what it is. And what do you think, E? Is this worth picking up?
No. I was just saying, it's gonna be it's gonna be bananas. And the best part about it is that Ryan Brown is gonna be at TERRIFICON also.
That's it. Remark sketches and signatures.
Oh,
and there's actually gonna be a lot of interesting things coming out from our circle.
Yes, this isn't the only thing,
Yeah, but yours is special. The first is it's your first, so it's gonna be special.
Popping the cherry and doing it in a major
And
way.
Sans says he needs a copy. He's going to be at Terrificon. Sans the cookie man himself is coming to Terrificon.
We got you, bro. What do you got there? A little super chat?
Yeah, we do. James coming in there. Well reasoned with data. Look, I was thinking the same when I set the price. Thank you. See? Look.
There he is. This is I'm assuming maybe that is him. Maybe it's not. If it is to you, congrats, bro, and good luck with the sale.
There you go.
You know, we'll give him a little super chat action. What do we got for him? Maybe we give him a little something different. What a little Larry? Should we give him a little Larry?
Why not?
Give him a little Larry.
Up a new jump here. Just gonna send it. Gonna hit her about 3/4 to full throttle. Come down that hill pretty fast. Hit that water, just gonna hold her wide. Gonna be a good day.
Still the best part is when the guy goes, Larry.
Yeah.
And by the way, we had that snowmobile.
I know you did.
That exact snowmobile we had. Right?
Yep.
That we used to ride
BT.
that all the time, dude.
BX Boxer in the house. What up? So if that is you, man, good luck with the sale. Seriously. And hopefully Larry brings you good luck. So the price of the book by $5. Yeah, there you go. Hold me a copy and I chest slap the shot out of someone. Yo,
we know what you meant.
Yo, BX, as long as you show up to Terrificon for more than 15 minutes and drive home, then you get a copy. Okay?
Wow. Calling you out, BX. He is like the Flash.
This guy's at Terrificon less time than the Flash is in the movie theater. I mean,
wow.
Speaking of which, just wanted to touch on this real quick. E, did you see it yet?
Yeah, twice.
You've seen it twice. Okay, so before I get to you, now me and Guy have not seen it yet, so I will not say anything about it. 55 million first weekend domestic, 15 the second weekend, 201.9 million worldwide in the first 2 weeks. Decent number, but it was a $200 million budget. 72% drop week 1, week 2, biggest ever for DC, just behind Morbius at a 73%
And by the way,
drop.
it was behind Black Adam, right? Black Adam made more money.
Yeah, I mean, it's The Rock. And everyone had high hopes for it. So, yeah, The Rock, Black Adam made a lot more money. But I think he's going to tell us that Flash was much better than Black Adam, but I could be wrong.
No,
So-
well, the number that bothers me is that fucking Morbius, because that movie was atrocious.
Terrible.
That was one of the
Yeah.
5 worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
That was terrible.
So quick, I mean, what are you thinking? I mean, we'll talk about maybe why the low numbers, but I mean, I'm hearing semi good things from this movie, like not a bad movie, but
Me
and
too.
again,
No, it has its fault. But I thought it was really, really good.
okay.
You know, I enjoyed it, but the fucking Ezra Miller's an idiot. So
I think that's what it is, right? Like, I really think that's what's driving the sales.
I do represent 10%. I feel that everything that this moron here did definitely affected, and people would not go see the movie because of a fool like this. But there are some great little fan moments in this movie that you will like. Both of you guys will like a lot of the little fan stuff.
I heard. Can I say something that I heard or no?
Yeah.
I know I haven't even seen it yet, but I heard that they were trying to get Christian Bale for the end of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, and he said no.
And he kept saying no.
Yeah, I could see that. The CGI is wonky on this movie. That's for sure. I don't think that was something Marvel would ever do.
Is that done purposely because of the way he's running?
That's what they're saying, but I feel it's bullshit, and they use it as an excuse. You know?
How can you have wonky CGI in a movie that's going to be surrounded by CGI?
Yeah, and it's supposed to be your savior.
You know, they were trying to say that that's showing the Flash's the Flash velocity stuff, but
they did it better in the TV show. From what I saw a side by side comparison. That's the only reason I know.
What You know what I hate about this fucking guy? When he gets in his flash pose, he runs like the fucking kid in school that couldn't run. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's him fucking running, man. This guy's got no fucking form or anything. He just drives me nuts. I can't stand this guy here as a Flash.
Well, listen, I want to try to see it. Maybe me and Guy go see it this weekend. But it's funny. Before this, I wanted the highlight down. Thank you,
I'm there.
Guy.
Don't worry.
Before this drop, like a week before this drop, I follow some people on Twitter that there's insiders, and the numbers were tracking very bad for week one. They were saying bad as in like 75 million. It did 55 million. And the reason for that is because there was almost no press tour. Ezra Miller really wasn't on tour. Obviously, they wanted to keep all the cameo secrets, so none of the big names were on tour. Basically, no one went on tour. It was a very small press tour.
Matt, Ezra Miller barely showed up to the premiere.
That's what I'm saying. So I think that had an enormous effect. And the fact that Ezra Miller, I think maybe looking back now, they're probably realizing that it was a mistake to put all their chips behind this guy, because no matter how good they thought the movie is, that it was going to be the savior, I think the fact that he was still in it is contributing to this movie just totally.
I think it absolutely hurts the movie.
Yeah.
So
I don't even want to get into this. Go ahead, Guy. You do the Sands Group first.
Sorry. Yeah, we got the super chat from the Cookie Man himself, obviously, Sands Group. If you guys aren't following him, you're crazy. He runs really fun auctions on YouTube. Blank cover battles this Saturday night. Schmalky.
Nice. Schmalky's nice.
Which is really cool. So he does a lot of fun stuff too, like that. So get behind him, follow him on the YouTubes.
Do that.
Hey,
I was gonna say.
Here's one for you.
Yeah.
So we get rid of this moron, right? And we do a Crisis on Infinite Earth reboot, right? Get rid of all of these.
Bring in the kid from the TV show.
Yeah, no. You see, I got one better.
Okay? I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Crisis on Infinite Earths. What happens? The Flash dies, right?
Yep.
Okay, kill this fucking clown off, right? We bring the fucking kid. What's his Grant Good, whatever his name is, right?
Yep.
We bring the kid from. He's already almost a ginger, right? And he becomes fucking Wally West, who is the Flash for anybody from the 90s forward.
Why not? That's been the call on the internet.
Dude, I would guarantee you that everybody will run to see, because that series was well received and it was a lot of fun.
Very good, well written. The kid is good. Like, he's very good and he's very believable. So
I didn't even like the fucking Iris West they had on this movie.
I guess I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see, but
we gotta try it this weekend, Guy. We gotta try this weekend.
Blue Beetle. What do you think on Blue Beetle?
I'm gonna see it. I like the kid.
We'll get to that. We're gonna
get to that. All right. Well, the guy's got some. He's got something planned later on. All right.
My bad. I apologize.
Well, let me ask you this. I want to move past
jump
this.
Into James Gunn.
Yeah. Oh, nice guy. I like what you did there, Jimmy G. I hate to go down this rabbit hole, but we know that Jonathan Majors got some stuff going on. He's actually is going to trial now, and that's set for like August 9th or something like that. That'll probably be. I'm sure by the end of August that'll all be wrapped up. We'll know what the story is. Now all the outlets are reporting that, he's innocent. Now everyone's doing a turn. However, seeing what happened to Ezra, do you think that changes Disney's mind on waiting for the actual outcome of the trial? Because we think that what happened with Johnny Depp probably saved Jonathan Majors from getting fired, but in the opposite direction. But now that we're seeing kind of the cancellation of a whole movie because of, the star, do we see things start to go back the other way?
Here's the problem with that. Is that the reason why? Is that really what they're saying? Is that the conclusion?
I don't know. I mean,
like, can they base it on it and say that's the reason why the movie did so shitty?
There's no way they're going to be able to know that, but I think everybody's assumption is that, right?
I don't know, man. I think, I think they weren't going to jump the gun and do the Johnny Depp thing because they were idiots and they ruined a whole bunch of shit for them with that whole Johnny Depp thing. Okay, but you saw a lot of changes now coming. and them jumping out of the next, what is it? The whole H, right? They pulled out.
They pulled a lot, but so did, I think Netflix is going to pull out too of CDC, SDDC. So,
I mean, are they scared? I think they're scared.
I think it's the writer's strike. They don't want to ruffle any feathers while people aren't getting paid and they're striking, and maybe a director's strike and a possible actor strike now I heard about. I think they want to save all the fanfare, and they don't want to celebrate something while all this crazy, like, because there's I mean, it's a serious thing, and I don't think they want to throw it in the faces of the writers. That's my opinion.
Expensive Paper said, he said, I sent over Cash App so YouTube wouldn't take 40%. So we appreciate you.
Oh, he did. Yeah, okay.
Thank you so much, brother.
So we need a Cash App super chat, but
yeah,
I guess in the meantime we could give them
run something. You got that Batgirl you haven't run.
All right, I was gonna do a shout out to our buddy Tank, but we could do
whatever you got.
We could do Batgirl.
All right, Defects. It's time to turn it up a little. I think you guys have been playing it nice lately. I need to get a little raunchy. What do you think? Can Batgirl handle that? I just wanted to let you guys know you are hot shit. Keep doing what you're doing.
I don't know. Thor decided to cut off Eva for some reason, but super chat.
I was playing Tune In Tokyo.
Thanks, brother. And listen, we were just talking about Eva, so why not talk a little more about Eva here?
Look at
her
this.
first cover for the Defects for Faro's Lounge. It's official. Eva and I can't say it. Eva Indiana Jones. I don't know. I can't say
Just
it.
say Eva Jones.
Yeah, Eva Jones. And so Indiana Jones cosplay by Eva Long. The link is in the description to get this off of Faro's Lounge website, or if you want to support his Kickstarter, you could buy one of the options and then add this as an add-on. So totally up to you. The covers are amazing. They're made out of like a linen paper. I mean, look at the background detail with the movie poster with the credits.
You're not going to be able to press this thing, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, linen paper, that's going to be bad for stains.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
There you go.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. So go check them out. Support Eva. Support Faro's Lounge. You know, this is technically not a Defects book, but we facilitated this for you guys. You've been wanting Eva on a cover, so now you got the naughty and you got the nice. You got the tits. You got the butt tunnel. You got the face shot. You can get them all. So check out the links in the description. Go check these out. They're very limited, so check them out. We appreciate you guys doing it.
On that middle cover, is that Jay in the middle, in between Eva's legs? Who is that?
Could be.
It's possible. He's looking for something. Yeah, he's definitely looking for something. Yeah.
Oh, hold on, Mingy. Without the beard, it's him.
Yeah, it's him. Yeah. Oh God. Hey, so yeah, man. Is it time, Guy Forge? We're getting up on 10.
Why not? I'm ready. I'm ready when you are, man.
I'm ready.
You wanna run that beautiful bean footage or what?
I mean, if I can find it, sure.
Let's see how good Erod does his salsa.
You gotta do a little salsa. Let me find this shit. It keeps knocking out my background for some reason. It's weird. All right, here we go.
There you go. I almost didn't see him dancing there. Look at him.
He's just doing his little bop. That's it.
I like that. So Matty Forge is going to put us over here, guys. We got a little Cash or Trash It. I thought I'd do something fun and something special tonight. Something a little different.
Okay.
So we're going to run this. We got about 115 people in here. Look, we got all these guys in here. We're happy you spent the whole time with us. We're going to do something a little crazy tonight. And you know, like it's like coming up on July, right? July and August are your summer months, right? School just ended. School's out. And we actually were talking about movies a little bit. So you know what? Matty Forge.
Yes, sir.
It's summer at the movies, baby.
I'm down with it. Let's go.
So we got a bunch of movies coming out. And I got some dates for you. And we're going to do this quick. Obviously, we've spoken about some of these movies. Some of them we haven't spoken about. And then I may just hit you with a sleeper or two at the end of this. All right? Guys, first movie we have up, we were just talking about EVA. So why not throw up Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny? I didn't even know Antonio Banderas is in this movie. I didn't even know that. So I see him in the middle there.
I thought that was Pedro Pascal, but yeah, it's Antonio Banderas.
It could be. It could be him.
Yeah, it's a fucking Spanish guy, but easy guy.
Wow. I didn't say it. It was Matt. So why not start with Erod on this one?
Why are you starting with Erod? What are you saying? He wants nachos too?
Wow.
Yeah, fucking just give me a fucking chalupas and tacos while the fuck you're at it there, bro.
You want nachos
He said,
too?
wow, why didn't you ask the rest of us if we wanted nachos, ma'am?
Yeah. What a great memory. So anyway, nobody knows about that, but anyway, we're going to go to this. Guys, Indiana Jones, cash it or trash it. What do you guys think? Erod.
Well, he's 80 fucking 1 years old. How's he even moving? Right?
Obviously, he's handing the torch. Right. Obviously, literally, he's going to hand the torch
to
the daughter, right?
All I want to hear is Dr. Jones. If I see that, I'm okay, but I trash that movie.
That'd be wonderful if we saw Dr. Jones.
Yeah, right.
I don't think we're going to see it, though.
Yeah, trash it. 15 years too late, you know.
Yeah,
I think everyone is the same consensus. I'll tell you this much. I will wait for it to come out, and I will watch it.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it on HBO or something.
It'll be like a Sunday movie, like when it's raining or something like that, right?
Yeah, he's going to be the Red Hulk, apparently. So I hope they get him a lot of steroids and a lot of CGI.
Wow. So next up, guys, and by the way, that's June 28th. Coming up on July 11th, I couldn't be more excited. One of my favorite actors of all time. I put him up there in my top 10. We have Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. This guy keeps making Mission Impossible movies. I don't think he's aged a bit. He does his own stunts. He's batshit crazy, and that for me is a great action star. So when you have a guy who's batshit crazy and kind of will do anything for a movie, I'm 100% behind him. I'm gonna say cash it. Erod, what do you think?
Well, you saw he does that stunt when he jumps off the cliff.
Oh yeah,
he did it like the guy's 60 years old. He did it like five times on his own.
He rides a motorcycle off a cliff and does a come on.
Yeah, does the free fall.
Just a Wednesday afternoon.
But I think it's gonna do well. I'll say cash it because that franchise has lasted way longer than I thought it would.
And with the people too. I mean, you got Ving Rhames in there. You got a couple other people that they
he's got a good support. He's got a good supporting cast. You know,
he does. They brought back the original guy from one of the original ones.
It's like Fast and Furious. It's a payday.
It ain't like it's definitely a payday like Fast and Furious.
It's a much better movie than that. I mean,
so far gone.
It's a better movie. Yeah, it's a better movie.
Yeah.
No,
cash it. I'm in. Like you said, this franchise lasted every movie I say is going to be the last, and they just keep making good ones. And the added bonus is the girls just keep getting better every movie.
Yep.
And I think they've figured something out there. It's
almost like a Bond movie. They know what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. They follow.
I'm good with it. Cash it, man.
I'm okay with it. That's like telling me that you're not going to make another Bond movie and it's not going to be good. I'm going to watch it. So that, by the way, is July 11th, which we saw. You know what? Coming up on this, I'm going to surprise you guys because you know what? There are other movies, obviously, but I pick and chose because we don't have all night with this. But July 21st. July pick what?
Huh?
What do you got?
No, fucking around. You said pick and chose. I said, what's a pick and chose?
Oh yeah, sorry. Matt, I moved the thing. Here you go.
Boom.
Okay.
We got Barbie, guys, coming.
Yeah, I'm just gonna trash it. Let's trash. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, but look.
Some people are excited.
So don't keep going.
Oh,
did you see the trailer?
Hold on a second, Erod. What do you think?
So, I was the Matt camp the minute I heard this, right? But then the first trailer sucks. You think it's just a Barbie movie, right? But then the second trailer, Barbie comes into the real world, right? But Ryan Gosling and that fucking molded head of his as Ken is going to be the highlight. That's going to make money.
I think it's going to be funny.
A lot of money.
The Butcher, where are you? Are you in the chat somewhere?
I'm waiting for him
Please
to jump in on
save me.
this.
Save me here, dude.
I think it's going to be funny. I think you're right.
Look, the consensus is cash.
The consensus is cash. And honestly, this is the last show we're ever doing. Okay? That's it. You guys have fucking let me down. You know, exactly. If there was a porn parody of this film, it would be a different story. All right.
Anyway, next up to save our show, we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I could not be more excited about a cartoon. I've been really excited about this. This comes out August 2nd, guys. Great cast of characters that are voicing this movie. And to get like kids to do the Turtles was the most genius thing in the world. Like, you know, you don't have adults trying to be kids. You have actual kids voicing the Turtles, which is fucking phenomenal. I cashed this all the way to the bank because I think this is going to be a home run.
I'm going to tell you, if you cash Barbie and you trash the Turtles, just don't come back. Just don't come back.
What do you think?
No, that's a cash. And by the way, you know Matt's actually going to see Barbie with his girl. He's just not to cover himself the much.
Thank God she likes movies like me. That's all
I will report. I will report on that. By the way, you know what I will. I will show up live with the fucking phone and a camera and a microphone and be like, Matt, just want to see. I'm coming live from the movie theater. I want to see what movie you're going to see.
Why do I feel a Photoshop coming on to IG sometime in the next 2 days?
Yeah, Matt with Barbie.
Matt and Barbie.
Cash and Turtles. Cash and Turtles.
Cash and Turtles. Let's throw this up August 11th and save Matty Forge, because if there was ever a movie that was written about Matty Forge,
come on, Tony. Barbie's better than Turtles. Sans Group. Come on, Tony. It
would be this movie.
Oh,
Gran Turismo comes out August 11th, guys.
Let's
Matty
go.
Forge. Matty Forge is probably who they wrote the movie about. By the way, this is based on a true story.
Yeah,
so
mine.
Literally, a gamer got a chance to drive the cars and race professionally. If you haven't seen the trailer for this, go check it out. If you like cars, if you like fun movies, if you like video games, this is what it's all about. This movie looks phenomenal. So I cash it all day long, Matty.
This is easy. Cash the game. I'm a car head. The game was one of the first games I ever binged on PlayStation 2. It's just, this is, and I don't know how good the movie's going to be, but it doesn't matter because it's all about the game for me. And a quick story, it's funny.
Yeah, okay.
It's funny. Quick story. They said the game, how the game. So I went to one of those things in Vegas where you could drive the supercars on the track.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And before you go out, they make you do a simulation. And you're like, this is like a legit sim, like roller cage. It moves around. The inputs are the same. And, you go around once to just get a feel. And then like, it's almost like a warm up lap and then you go. And I got like halfway through the lap and all of a sudden I could feel people standing around me. And it was like 2 or 3 of the instructors, and I finished, and the time was like, it was like 20 seconds faster than everyone else was doing it. They're like, how many times have you done this? I'm like, I've never done a simulation. This is the first time I've ever done it. They just looked at me like, they're like, you're not driving the car. You're not driving that car. Because I was just going to get like a basic, I don't want to say basic. I was going to get like a street car. They're like, we're putting you in the pro car. So of course I wind up in this like souped up Ferrari I couldn't even hear myself think, and it had a roll cage. So it was funny because it made me think of the trailer because it had a lot to do with that. So that was a fun time. So I recommend if you're ever in Vegas, go out to the track if you're a car guy and do.
What'd you get it up to that?
I think I hit 180. It was 175, like 175, 180.
Yeah, because
it wasn't like a super straightaway track. There was a lot of turns. It was fun.
My niece's husband did one. There's one in Jersey.
Okay.
Like high-end cars. Yeah. And he was telling me he got it up to 150.
Okay.
And, the instructors were getting nervous, but he said it was a blast.
Yeah, it's tough. Listen, I went to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and we were on the track for the SRT stuff, and we were driving cars on there. I mean, it's pretty nuts.
Dreamcast.
Yeah. Listen, this is a movie that is right up Matt's alley, and if it's anything like the Need for Speed movie, they'll hit a home run because that movie is a sleeper movie. That movie was put together very well, and the racing in that movie was phenomenal as well.
I gotta tell you what though, time has not been kind to Orlando Bloom.
No, but
is that who that is?
That's Orlando Bloom.
Oh my God!
I didn't even recognize him. He looks old as shit.
He's on the end, Matt.
Oh my God! What did they do to him?
I don't know.
Nothing. He's fucking life fucked him up.
He needs to get the fucking elf ears and the bow and arrow back, man.
Yeah.
Guys, August 18th. I'm gonna end it. Oh, cash it or trash it.
I did not. I have not seen that. World feature.
No, you're gonna cash it or trash Gran Turismo.
Oh, this one, no, cash it all the way.
There you go.
Right, good. We'll all go together to that one because that'll be fun.
Speaking of ears, did you guys see Very Gary this weekend dressed up as Very Linky?
Dude, he looked just like him. It was perfect.
It was perfect. 100%.
Absolutely perfect. This is rounding out the ones I picked out, guys. This is August 18th. And I think everybody, I don't know if you're excited about it, but I think it's going to be a cool movie. I think the kid that's in it, I think we're excited to see what he can do outside of Cobra Kai. So I'm excited for this movie. I think it's going to be a fun movie. Do I have high expectations? No, but it's still going to be fun. So I'll cash it.
I'm not going to... What's up?
That's considered the first gun series, right? The Gunverse?
I believe that's under his watch. I believe so. Yeah. I'm going to cash it. I'm not going to make it a point to see it, but...
Yeah, exactly.
It's something that I probably will go see. Maybe not the first weekend, but I'll probably try to make plans with Guy to go see it. So,
No, cash.
Cash it. Yep.
And listen, guys, I'm going to end this off. This was the fun part because I think this is obviously the summer of movies over here. I got a couple sleepers.
Okay.
That you guys might beat me up for, but you know what? I don't care.
I think before you get on there, I see a lot of speeds in the chat. Okay, guys, I can't tell the story because I'm live and my face is here. Okay, but yes, I feel you. I feel you, man. I've had motorcycles. I've had tuned BMWs. I've had Audi S4s. So yeah, I've broken the speed a time or two. All right. Yeah. So just to echo everyone else's comments, I can't put my real speed out on with my face out here. All right.
So rounding this out for the sleepers that I think are going to be home runs no matter what across the movies this summer. This movie Joyride, just believe me.
Is this a remake?
No. So this is going to be hilarious. Watch the Red Band trailer. You'll laugh your ass off.
Okay.
It's going to be really funny. It's pretty much what I would think like a girl version of Hangover. Either way, it's hilarious. Go watch the trailer.
I'll give it a chance. I'll give it a chance to watch the trailer.
You're gonna laugh your ass off because I think it's really funny. And then I think this movie is gonna be great.
Oh, I can't wait to see this.
So this is No Hard Feelings. This comes out this month.
Yeah,
came out
already. Yeah.
So this is gonna be a home run. I can't believe she looks younger in this movie than past movies. I'm baffled that it didn't even look like her at first.
Supposedly she's really funny in this movie.
Yeah, I can't wait for this.
They said her comedic chops were good.
Yeah, I listen. These are two sleepers that I think that no one's really talking about a lot, and I think they're gonna be really good. So, enjoy yourself, guys. Summer
Robert
at the movies.
Plancarde. That was too soon, man. With Paul Walker. All right, that still hurts.
Wow.
Still hurts. All right.
Wow. Still hurts.
That was a good one, Guy. I like it. I'm with all of that. I'm with all of it. So we'll let cash it or trash it. Take us out. All right, we're going to get out of here. But for those of you that have stayed, I have a little tidbit, a little insider scoop. Some of you may have heard it, some of you may have not. So I will put it in the chat. And if I get enough yeses, I will say it. And if you don't want to be spoiled, you can back out. Who wants to know the possible end credit for the Marvels movie with detail? I think it dropped somewhere like about a week ago with a little less detail. It dropped about 2 or 3 days ago with some more detail. So do you want the spoiler for the end credit scene of the Marvels? If I get enough yeses, I'll do it. And if you don't like it, you could jump out. I will definitely give a warning beforehand.
A Supreme. I didn't.
Go with it, man.
I couldn't fit everything. Let's just put it that way.
I see a lot of yeses.
I saw one
yes.
no.
I see one no. Right. I apologize to the one no in there. So we'll do, give a 10-second head start. Sorry, Justice Shannon, we love you, but sorry, I got to drop it. You got overruled here. So 10 seconds, I will drop it. It's not an enormous ending, but it's something we've all known has been coming. We were just kind of waiting. So
and do me a favor.
Yeah.
We got 62 likes and there's over 120 people. 110
Come on,
people.
guys.
Can we get to 100 likes, please? Come on. Defects.
I thought you were gonna hit the thing.
What are you doing? Defects?
You're gonna press it? Smash it.
I was gonna press it.
Still one of my all-time favorites right there.
Gotta be. And the story behind how it got formed was just it'll go, it's one of those things that just happen. It's one of those moments. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All right, so here we go.
Do it.
And thank you guys for hanging out tonight. This will be the last thing we talk about before we get the hell out of here. So, okay, in the Marvels, Nick Fury has a tablet. So during the movie, Nick Fury has a tablet for keeping tabs on all of the heroes currently active. At the end of the film, Kamala takes the tablet, tracks down Kate Bishop. To Kate's surprise, Kamala shows up at the Bishop residence. Kamala tells Kate about the events of the Marvels and how the young heroes need to team up. She asks Kate, quote, "Do you know Scott Lang has a daughter?" End quote, setting up possibly the Young Avengers. Now, I'll let Erod jump in here because he made a good point before we went live, but this has, I don't want to say it's been corroborated, but I saw this leak from 3 or 4 different people, and it basically all said the same thing. And usually when that happens, they have it's either very, very close or it's something that's just what it is. So again, not an enormous spoiler. It's something we kind of knew was going to happen at some point. But Erod said, hey, is it going to be the Young Avengers or possibly, who else could it be?
A-Force.
Yep. Could be A-Force.
All-female team, right? Because Kamala's not part of Young Avengers.
Not right off the bat, right?
But Kamala
at
is
any point, you're right. Not at any point,
right.
You're right.
At any point, but Kamala
You
is
also
part of
mentioned
Kamala's part of the champions.
Champions, yeah.
Which
Chef, there you go.
Yeah, if you take the you're right, you take the champions, you have Kamala. But the big entry point with that is that somewhere along the line, Miles is a big part of champions, and so is Sam Alexander. Sam Alexander.
And Hulkling, right? Is it Hulkling?
Hulkling, yeah, but those three, remember, they become Avengers and quit the Avengers because of Steve Rogers' politics and formed their own team. They burned their Avengers because there's that famous Alex Ross book.
Yeah.
So.
Blue Marvel, I mean, it's still a possibility. It doesn't mean that it has to be in the end credit. We were told all along from our kind of insider that he's coming. But obviously things change. Doesn't mean that it's the Marvels, but you would assume that it's the Marvels. Maybe they name drop him in the Marvels. Maybe he doesn't show up. Maybe they say Adam. Maybe there's a second end credit scene. I don't see a Blue Marvel showing up in costume to save the day for an all-female movie. However, I could see him being name dropped. I could see him making an end credit appearance. Or maybe he's something that's going to be saved for later on. I don't know. But we were told he's coming. Obviously things change, but I can't see them not having him, but who the hell knows? The world's upside down right now, especially over at Marvel. So,
hey Matt, you remember the last Thor movie at the end credit they have the little girl and they said that was Singularity?
Yes.
Another reason it could be A-Force.
Yep, absolutely. So, all right, boys and girls, we are going to get out of here. This was a great show. The chat has been great. The people showing up, I love to see the names. We appreciate you all. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. I got nothing left. Let me throw it over to my boys and let them see if they have anything to say before we get the hell out of here. Guy Forge.
No, nothing. Awesome show. Great job with all the research, Matty Forge. I would expect nothing less from the brains, the guy behind the guy.
Yep.
So a lot of fun. Come to Whatnot tomorrow night. Maybe I got some fun books to sell. Who knows?
Yep. Erod.
Thank you guys for having me. Always a pleasure. Always a blast hanging out with you guys. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock on Whatnot. Thursday, 8 o'clock. Just quick plug for my man KB Comics. He's having John Jang on Whatnot, 10 o'clock
Thursday.
So stop by. But TERRIFICON's coming up. We'll all be there, and there are some big stuff that's coming. TERRIFICON and further. So make sure you guys are following all of us on social media, YouTube, and everything else. Still more math, please. Yeah, everybody's brain hurt after that one,
My
Matt.
brain hurts. I appreciate you all. Guy, thank you so much. Great work tonight. And hit the thumbs up on the way out. Subscribe if you're new. Go check out Guy and Erod tomorrow night on Whatnot. And if not, we will see you next Monday on YouTube. Later, Defects.